Jesse Byrnes, senior editor for The Hill, who joins us now on the program. Thank you, Jesse, for coming on. So let's just start plain and simple shutdown talk with you. We talk about this every so often, but what are you hearing? I mean, what's the latest now? Because it seems like there is if there's a deal in place in the House, we would have heard about it. I know the Senate's got something going, but what are you hearing in the House?
Well, you're really seeing this dichotomy between the House and the Senate. In the Senate, you have Republicans working with Democrats in tandem to try to come up with some type of stopgap measure that they want to vote on here in the next couple of days. In the House, you still have this kind of chaos that has continued for days and weeks leading up to this deadline. Everyone knew this deadline was coming, and we really are at the same place that this started. Republicans are only focusing on these partisan spending bills that they know have really no chance of going anywhere in the Senate. Right. At the same time, Speaker McCarthy is trying to force President Biden to come to the negotiating table, but there's no evidence that that's going to happen right now. And,
McCarthy has this choice. We were looking a moment ago, some of the effects of a possible shutdown. You could, if you're McCarthy, get blamed for some of that if people aren't getting their paychecks or they're working without getting paid and, the national parks are closed and all the rest of this. We've been through shutdowns in the past. Some last longer than others. But is his choice keep his job, shut the government down? I mean, some have couched it that way. Is that how, you're seeing it as you look at how things are developing on Capitol Hill? Is it that simple for the Speaker?
Yeah, and right now he really has to continue to rein in his caucus. Speaker McCarthy has for months really struggled to, he has proven his critics wrong several times, including in May and June with the last fiscal cliff deadline, advanced at the last moment a deal to actually keep the government afloat. But now those receipts are coming due for him. He has to show Republicans in his caucus that he can continue to lead without making these huge concessions that they don't want to give President Biden, particularly on immigration and securing the border.
Now, let me talk about the fact that the focus has been today, especially on impeachment, while all of this is going on, and it has been reported here and elsewhere. It doesn't seem like much new evidence was presented by the Republicans in the impeachment hearing. So the Democrats are coming out and saying basically like, hey, listen, we have a shutdown to worry about. Why are we doing this now, especially if there's not going to be any new evidence? And there's always some drama on Capitol Hill. Congressman Raskin, Jamie Raskin of Maryland, comes in. He has a clock that he puts up. But anyway, here's what Congressman Raskin had to say earlier today, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Here he is.
Let's get it straight. We're 62 hours away from shutting down the government of the United States of America, and Republicans are launching an impeachment drive based on a long debunked and discredited lie.
So obviously both sides are trying to play their own political angle here. The Democrats must think this works, that the public will look at it and think that, well, you shouldn't be focused on this right now. That's obviously the argument they're making, right?
Yeah, and Raskin, he said earlier today that Republicans haven't presented a smoking gun. They haven't even presented a water gun with this impeachment. And even some of the Republican witnesses today said that there wasn't evidence to vote on impeachment. Of course, they said that there is enough to actually have this inquiry. But of course, it comes at this backdrop of the government shutting down in a little over 2 days. The last shutdown that happened, there were at least several large components and branches of the government that were still funded. That was, of course, a lengthy shutdown that lasted 35 days. This time around, none of the federal government, these appropriations bills have been passed. And so for legislators, the stakes are even higher this go around.
So they wouldn't get paid themselves even?
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. Of course, in the Senate, they've only put forward a 6-week stopgap.
Right, but I'm saying they usually get their own salaries during it, don't they, the members of Congress, or no? They, because everybody talks about the military and everybody not getting paid. But what about Congress? Do you know?
That's right. And you even saw Nikki Haley in last night's GOP debate saying, if the government shuts down, lawmakers shouldn't be getting paid. And so really trying to bring it home for folks at home who are going to be impacted if the government does shut down.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.